My name is Nelson, and this day's session will be moderated by Conrad. Hey, Conrad, you want to say something?
Hey guys.
Yeah, the topic today is what can be built in a day, and I would like to let you evaluate uh, whether that is something significant in your mind to build a career or help to make this world better by giving companies what they want. Um, so the agenda, if I may, is starting 9 o'clock, which is right about now. I'll give a little bit of the introduction, describe the systems to be built today, what it can do, and start with the data modeling. Then we set up the companies, the user groups, and we may take a break. Then we develop a doctor maintenance screen and a new patient's registration screen, um, and then all the screens that comes with it. Then we're going to change, whatever we have built with by adding some attributes here and there, and change it on the fly. Permission management is a very big thing in the system that comes with the system. So it is something that we're very proud of. So you will see that happening today too, and also multilingual. We also added one features which I'm going to demonstrate it in a few minutes. The new features was built in a couple of days in Rintagi. So we're going to start with the introductions. Robocoder is a Canadian company established in 1999, which is 16 years ago, as a research facility. The focus was to build software by software because we were quite sick and tired of building everything hand coded and make it last so we don't have to do it that often. And hence we have the Rintagi development platform. It was patented in 2005 because it can regenerate itself. In 2003, a complex securitization systems, we call it FAST, stands for fast, fully automated securitization system, was built by Rintagi and still currently managing billions of dollars of assets for reputable financial institutions. And both, because it can regenerate itself, both Rintagi and FAST can easily be regenerated from scratch with most recent changes. So these things that we have added to Rintagi a couple of days ago not only apply to the applications that we're building today, it would also apply to Rintagi itself, and you'll see a demonstration of that too. Or it can be modified by traditional programmers if you want to break away from Rintagi regeneration, because all the code that are being generated are standard code, and there's no proprietary stuff that would stop you from taking the generated stuff and build it from there using your own coding. So both Rintagi and FAST are rule-based and no patches. Obviously, after saying all that, we would like to convince you that Rintagi does have the ability to regenerate all the time. So you should rely on Rintagi to do the changes for you so that it won't become obsolete in the future. So both Rintagi and FAST also runs on latest HTML5, CSS3, JavaScript, jQuery, C#, .NET, and SQL. Today we're going to demonstrate it in Microsoft SQL. In 2015, last year, both Rintagi and FAST were rejuvenated, so they can all run like native apps on tablets and mobile devices. So that's the introductions. To code or not to code, coding is difficult. I think Conrad can tell you, support me on that. Using a system with predefined interface is easy. I mean, who's going to complain, on using a system that has beautiful and user interface that have beautiful UX user experience. Coding is manual and a lot of repetitions. Automated development takes away all that repetitions, and that's where Rintagi comes in. Coding can take care of unanticipated stuff, however, but development platform with predefined interface can be targeted to whatever you want to automate. Now, where to draw a balance? Rintagi automates development as much as it can, and we try to code as little as possible. However, we do allow you to code in 3 different layers. The client tiers, the middle tiers, the web tier, we call it web tiers, and the last tier is the server tier, which is the database tier. So a little bit of verbiage. We believe in you, and we believe that you can learn faster via immersion. So that's why we're doing this live demonstration today, instead of doing a prefabricated demo or a pre-recorded video. We believe you. You need to see it to believe it. I mean, if you obviously you can see how things are being built. You get more confidence that you can do it yourself, and you can also see that it can do all that within the same day, and you can expand that to other things that you are familiar with. We believe you will enjoy the benefits that Rintagi can bring to you. We believe in Rintagi, and we wish to share our technology and future with you. The system to be built today is a clinical system. At the end of the day, we hope that you can use the system that we build together to register new patients. It will have full audit trail for all the records and changes, and the automated audit trail is the one that we have added to Rintagi in the last 2 days. Before, it was all customized, but we found a way to do the automation. So as we said earlier, we will automate as much as we can and code as little as possible. So we built that a couple of days ago. The doctors can record traditional information for their own patients, and not only that, a patient can be treated by more than one doctor within the clinic. The clinic administrator can administer all doctors and patients within their own clinic, and the regional administrator is just a clinic administrator that has been assigned to more clinics, so they can administer more clinics at the same time. Same system can be shared by clinics all over the world in their own language, and that's multilingual. And so all you have to do is put this system in the cloud. Oh, by the way, the code that we generate today for this system will be available tomorrow or the day after. Tomorrow is Friday. Yeah. We're having our Christmas celebration, so if it's delayed, it'll be sometime next week. But it will be available for download, so you can download it and start building from there, or use it as an example to build other things. This is the form that I happened to fill out last week when I was visiting a ophthalmologists. Um, and you can see that it's not too comprehensive. It asks you for the typical information about you as the patients and who you've been seeing in the past, and so I thought maybe this is a good start. And it also asks for the signatures at the bottom. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we can put this in on a tablet, that instead of a piece of paper, and we give that tablet to the patients, and the patient can fill it out all by themselves without the administrator retyping it, and all the administrator has to do is to verify the information. And because it has the full audit trail, we would know what information has been changed at any time by whoever. So that is something we would like to try to accomplish today. And on top of that, we can set up some visits or treatments screen to capture each and individual visits to for these patients. Okay, so let's start data modeling. Before that, we need to have a system. So let's minimize that. This is download. It's my own local computer. You can, if you download this from Rintagi.com, this is exactly what you will be seeing. Is this particular file here? It's an exe file, but don't worry, it's virus-free. I guarantee that. And also, it has no malicious code. If you install it onto your computers. And most of the source codes are there anyway after you expose it, and you will be able to see that this is a legitimate business trying to share the benefit of Rintagi with the world. So 64 megabyte, that's all it is. And let me just double click that. It comes up with a installer, and this is the legal stuff that our lawyers said we should put it in to protect you and us and or whoever. I would advise that you accept it, because it's all our clients are accepting something like this from us anyway. So if it's good for them, it's probably good for you. And we can click new. Okay. We can come up with a namespace. Our road is the Rintagi code name, and you can let's just say L1. Okay. And we tried the L0 yesterday, so you'll see the L0 already created in our system, but the L0 is actually 0. So everything we do today is brand new. We haven't built anything like this, and in the exact format. So you'll see everything goes into live actions, and what kind of difficulties we may come through during the development. The best way to learn is when we encounter difficulties, and you may see some of that too. So the fastest way is this is my server name, and you can also download our Rintagi cloud server. We have a trial cloud server for you for 90 days for free, and it's a virtual machine. So essentially, if you have a browser, you can start developing. The fastest way is to use window authentications, and so you don't have to type in username and password. Now, this username and password pairs is to let you create an additional credentials. So let's just say SA admin, or let's just call it L1, L1 admin. Okay, and maybe we'll just use the same name. Okay, as the password. We deliberately not hiding the password, so in case you type in a password that you cannot see. So this credential will be included in or created in the in your SQL Server that will have full access to the database. So let's just click install, and it will start creating a new system for you. At the bottom here is a copying client tier files, and so if we well, just go to the database SQL Server and do a right mouse, refresh. You'll see that we have the L0 that we created yesterday, and very soon the L1 will be created here for us. There will be 3 databases. The design, the L1 design, soon will be there. Is the Rintagi itself, and so it comes with every applications. The L1 Simon D is the common area, but D is a subset of the design stuff. So we replicated some of the important stuff here so that you can store your own screen, your reports, and what have you, all the design stuff, all the metadata in here. This common database is where you can develop your own programs, and you can see that there's a handful of tables already created for you, and I'll explain what they mean later on when the L1 comes up. Oh, it's halfway through, and it's telling us that it's upgrading L1 design data. So this process takes about 1 minute to 2, and when it's done, it will tell you. So going back to this SQL Server database. Okay, so we have a table called company, and we have a table called project. Okay, and we have all other tables too. Now all these you can find in this particular table because it's metadata. So let me show you the ctperm key. So this is the permission table name. Okay, so here's the table name. You see this name, they match this table here: agent, broker, customer, right, and users. So what does it mean? Well, users in design and cultures in design database. But what it means here is if you have a column with a name of this type, agent ID, broker ID, etc., it will perform the permission management automatically. And so you cannot delete these tables that was created here for you to start with, because they mean something to the system. And in some cases, if you want to have multiple filtering, so let's say a patient may want to have multiple doctors, so instead of using a project ID, we plan to use the project to represent a doctor. So we can use the project ls, which is a list box, and we can see the multi-value is y, and the multi-value here is no. So when in doubt, just come back here and you can see which one is being permission managed. Okay. So later on, we're going to use company as the clinic and project as the doctors. Customers will be our patients. I think this is almost done. So let me just go back to, yay, it's done. So deployment completed. So this will tell you what has happened, and you can see that all this has different number of rows. It just tells you that there's no errors. So this is everything has done for you in that particular deployment in 2 minutes. Information. These are the prerequisites and the things that has been changed. So we added the automated audit trails capability, a couple in that last version, the version that we're running now. And this is the just some README information. And in the end here, it tells you that once we have installed it, you can use John Doe. And the password is John Doe without the space. Mind the capital letter J and the capital letter D as system administrator, which is all powerful in the system. So let me close it down. And the deployment, I mean the new installations, would have created the L1 databases for us. Let's see if that's happening. Yes, so we have L1, L1, L1s right here. Okay, and on the front end, it would create several things. In the iNet pub, it would create the L1, L1WS, the web services, and L1 is where we're going to do our development. The rest are the stuff that I have been using, and and also in Rintagi, this particular database. Sorry, not database. This is the place where all the root tiers, the middle tiers, has all the code. So L1 is here, and you can see that these are the information being stored in here. So it also created the IIS Internet Information Servers services. So it would let you run as a website. Okay, so let's log into our new system. Localhost, and we can type L1. The first time will take a little bit longer, but after that, it will. A lot of things is already in cache, so it will run a lot faster. So this is the initial look and feel, but you can change it anytime. And we can type in join though, and then join though, login. Okay, it's asking us to change our password. If your password is not strong enough, say it requires minimum 8 characters and at least 1 digit, 1 capital, 1 lowercase, and 1 symbol. So my recommendation is just do John Doe again. And you see it's still red, right? So we need put in a $1 and then a $sign. Okay. So that way we can use that. So John Doe, capital letter J and D, $1 will be our okay, update password. Great. We're in, and we're John Doe, and we're system administrator. Now, how do we know? We go to user manager, and you will be able to see that John Doe is indeed system administrator, which is all powerful. when we click this, we can drill down to see that system administrator is all access, while the other people, for example, anonymous, has no access. We need the anonymous for specific purpose. So anyone who's using a system without signing in is actually an anonymous user. So it is a user, but it belongs to the anonymous group. So and then we can assign in the add here which system. So currently we only have 2. So we can say, okay, an anonymous in common can actually have view only access. So that is if you want to develop a web page or something for other people to see. We reserve every other things for other purposes. Later on, we will be encountering the use of RPT, which stands for Report Administrator, and User Administrator is someone who only have the right to manipulate users, but not everything else. So we can go through that later on. Let's just close it. And it warns you if you have forgotten that you have changed something. So I leave. And you can see that you can assign a user with multiple user groups. And the privilege will be overcoming the burden. And this is just some other information about that. So don't delete the anonymous users. Like I said, we needed it for the anonymous usage for anyone who hasn't logged in yet to the system. So where are we? We need to create some tables. Let's go back to the data model. Conrad, how are we doing so far?
We're doing great. You sound great on stream, and I think our viewers are pretty interested.
Okay, well, as long as they're not leaving, I guess that's a good sign. Yeah. Uh, so okay, so this is data modeling time. Data modeling is going to take a little bit of time because we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So come to think about it, we need the clinic, and for now, I'm thinking that I will be using company to represent that. Okay, and the doctors, I'm using the project to represent that. You'll see why in a second. The patients will be the customers because they're already permission managed, and treatment will be something on its own because it's not an entity. It's transactions. But we will put an additional customer ID into the treatment table so that it will be permission managed by the customers, which is the patients. Okay. Then we need some supporting tables for the things from here. We're asking for genders, so gender is either male or female, and we also have a lot of yes and no. We have diabetes, somewhere in here. If yes, then type 1, type 2, etc. Something like that. Okay, so let's begin with the company. When we drop down this, you will see that the company shows up in here, but there's no company signed up assigned yet. Now, I believe it's because we haven't set up any company yet. You see, the company is empty. There's no company. There's no projects. a user can have access to multiple companies and multiple projects. Uh, and a user can also represent a particular customers. So a patient to be assigned to one customers would be great, because why would you want my brother to access my sister's patient's record, right? So, and therefore, it makes sense to use the projects as the doctors and the companies as the clinics. One thing I want to double check is the user preference. Okay, this is where we set up the user preference for anonymous when they log in, and the administrators when they log in. So here we say company list visible, yes. Project list visible, not visible. Now, that's the default, but we can set it up so that we have access as administrator to everything. This is default for system. And so if we are in the administration system, that's what happened, okay? But we can also set up something for, in addition to the system, we can set up something for the system administrators. But anyway, for now, let's just okay, I'm asking the question, if someone using the common database, which is where we're going to develop all these screens, should they have access to change company? Yes, it's visible. Let's just make them all visible for now, because those who access this system, this is default for the system, right? So we need to set up a different setup for the different users to override this. In that case, the default should be read only. And so we can see who the user is when the doctor sign in using this system, when the patient sign in using this system. They know who the doctor is, who the company is, and who he is. But he should not be able to change that. And can he change the system from one system to another? We can make that happen individually. But for now, I think we should be read only. No, let's just do it the other way. Okay, so the default is visible. Default is visible. And we can override that when we have the user group set up properly, and to hide all those things when it's necessary. Okay, so let's just do it that way, because you can do it one way or the other. There are many ways to solve a problem. So when that happens, now I can go to the common database, and you can see that there's no menu here. Go back to our development platform, and when I click that, you see the project comes up, so I can select projects if it has been set up properly, right? Okay, so let's go to the data model. Okay, in the data model, you can see that we have the company. Table already set up, but the fastest way to do this is because we want to set this up in common, how to enter a company, stuff like that. We want to do it here. So we would change our current modules to common, and pick common database, the table, and let's just use some keywords that we can easily search for it. Company information, and we can do something called reverse engineer. So this is great for tables already exist, and if we press this button and we say retrieve, okay. Oh, this is embarrassing. What did I do wrong? No wonder. So it was warning me that, hey, you already have this set up once. Why create a duplicate name? And it's not expecting me to do something like that. So the error can be a little bit ugly. So you can see that all these things has already been predefined for us, right? Company info is already here. So it has company ID, firm ID, parent ID, and this two. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let's go and take a look at company. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Okay. Now, we have something here called firm. Let's take a look at firm. The idea for a firm is one firm can become a company or a customer or a vendor at any time. So it's very useful if you have a business that the one company can be both a customer and a vendor. But in our case here, we don't need it. So I'm planning to remove that field and substitute it with something else. Okay. Now, what do we want to keep track of in a company? Let's just take a look at the firm to see anything useful here. So we want to keep track of address. We want to keep track of the country, and we want to keep track of the state, or in our case, province. We're in Canada, and perhaps the city. And you can see that the tables are already set up for the city. The city has a country name, and do we have anything here? Oh, it's already defaulted with some information. Great. So we have a few more things to do. So we have city, we have state. If state is here too, yeah. Oh, interesting. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have messed up a country somewhere. Country. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's just check to make sure that all the information provided here was country. State 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have state code. State. Yeah, everything's same. Okay, so we must have a city, because this has to be the same as the physical database. Otherwise, it won't be functioning correctly. So I'm being prudent to check to make sure everything is correct. Okay. Now that we have that, we should go back to company, and we want to keep track of a few more things and also delete the firm ID. Okay. So don't forget we cannot delete the parent ID. Somewhere say in here, don't assume any basic fields. Adding fields are fine, but do not attempt to change or remove any basic fields. Okay. I think it's fine to take away the firm ID. It's not nullable. That is yeah. Interesting. I'm pretty sure it's okay, but the rest of them, I know they're needed. So don't change them. So I'm taking a risk doing this now. But let's see what happens. Okay, I will add in the middle, maybe somewhere after this. So after 40, so 41, we will have the address 1, and the data type would be nvar varchar meaning that is variable length, and we can have it up to. I mean, why would you want to have an address up to more than 100 characters? That would be weird. So let's have that, and let's make it nullable for now. Okay. So they don't have to enter an address, or let's just make it not nullable, so that the second one is nullable. So you have to enter an address 1, but not address 2. Okay, so let's do that. 42 address 2. So address line 2, and varchar 100. So this is nullable, and then we have the 43, which is the how about the city? City will be the city ID, I believe. Let's take a look. So city, yeah, city ID, and then we have the country ID, and the state ID. Oh, this is a little bit complicated. Where did we have this mentioned before? Because we have a lot of ways of doing that. Obviously, the easiest way is just to enter your own city, country, and state. But obviously, here we prefer to have the state name entered, and then selecting the country. So we have the why would we do something like that? What's the significance of doing that? So the country comes up first. Country ID comes up. Notice that the country ID is small in, and then the state, and then the city. Huh, interesting. So state ID is small in. The difference between in and small in is in is a lot bigger. It can capture a lot more. You can see the more cities than the state and the country. So yeah, I think I know what's happening. You can filter the state based on the country. So we have the country done first, and we'll make it all nullable. Okay, so country ID small in automatically it knows 2 bytes, and let's make it nullable. Okay, so add 44. We will have the state ID. Small in again. And 45. This one is the city ID. And this one is the integer. Okay, it's bigger. Now we can do a save. I recommend frequent save so you can see what you're doing and not losing anything when power down accidentally. So we have all these fields now, and how about we add 81 and for the postal zip. I suppose what was it before? About 20. Yeah, 20 characters probably enough. And then we have the phone number, mobile number, fax number. I think that would be enough. Phone, mobile, fax. Okay. And about 20. Nullable. 82. Phone, voucher. 20. Let's make it notable. 83. Mobile. Nah, there's no mobile for company. Come on. Fax. Okay, so fax, voucher. Y binaries to capture image. So this is 20. Nullable. Okay. On second thought, let's just make the address all nullable, so make it easier, because so nobody has to enter the address they don't want to. So that is our company table, and when we are comfortable, we can now go and create a screen for it. Remember, there's nothing else we have created yet for the company screen in common. So there's nothing here. So this is a brand new system. Let's just use 3 characters. CMN stands for common, because you may have other systems that we create in the future to separate the modules. Okay, so let's just say this is CMN company, COMP. That's good enough. And there's 3 types of screen types. We have the master details, tab folder with grid, or we can have tab folder only. Now, if you have a lot of things to display in rows, that I recommend a data grid. For the company, we don't have a lot of companies. The fastest way to do that, I believe, is through the tab folder. Okay. And the master table would be the company info. The company to search for this company would be the company DSC. And this is just to replace that if you want to write your own formula. And this is in ascending order, that's fine. We have the screen title. Let's just call it, no, we don't want to call it company. We don't call it clinic. Okay, clinic. Clinic information. Okay. Help message. This help message will go into something in here. Because this is self-generated, we can also find the same screen definition here for the screen definition itself. I'll show you that later. So this is the clinic information, or whatever you want to talk to it. The footnote will go underneath the screen if you put anything in. If you enter anything here, you can say, hey, clinic added successfully. You can say clinic updated successfully. You can say clinic deleted successfully. Okay, so all these are defaulted. It means it has to be authenticated before you come in. And this is the new feature that we added in the last 2 days, the audit trail. We can try it in here too because it's important. Don't worry about the miscellaneous for now. Let's just click a save. And when we click save, it actually created the screen for us, believe it or not, and waiting for us to make it prettier. Okay, but I just remember something. When we changed the company information, we didn't really push it to the physical database yet. Now, we need to click here to push it to the physical database. Otherwise, it will fail when we try to run the screen, because it will say, hey, you know, I'm expecting address 1 in the database. How come it's not there? As a control test, let's just take a look at the company. Refresh. Okay, so it's not there yet, right? Now, if we push this now, it say it's successfully synchronized. And what it does is 2 things, other than more than just updating the physical database. It actually went to the version tracking and inserted a script. This script here is automatically written for you. And what it does is when you deploy this system to a production system, let's say, it will automatically run this script and take care of the changes for you. Okay, so go back here, refresh. See, all these fields are now done for you. Okay, wonderful. Let's go back. Let's go then the second step to Object IDE. So we have the screen definition done, and you can see cleaning information comes up, and they're all vertical align. It may not be the best looking ways for this, so I would recommend breaking it down into 2 sections. How about we, and this is mandatory, how about if we put the address on the right hand side? Yeah, I think that would probably be better looking. So expand it. So this is the drag and drop. This is the fun part. Obviously, there will be other things that you will find boring in here. But so far, I think this is the fun part. Okay, so we have all the address. Oh, they lined up quite nicely. Okay. So for the company, let's just do the checking. Yeah, if we don't mention the width, it will respond nicely. But we do want this to be read-only, because company ID is an identity. It will automatically generate a key for it. So we want to use the management here, the object authorization. Say this is visible, but read only. And is it exportable? Sure, why not? And here you can override it, override the tooltips and everything, but let's not do it now. we can change that to just ID, and the tooltip is this ID uniquely represent this clinic. Now the parent ID is nullable. In our case, we are not using it really. This is in a situation when you have companies that have parent companies, so you can chain them together to do permission management. In this case here, we don't want to do that just yet. So what are we going to do? We can change it to parent. This is the parent clinic. Oh, what the heck? Why don't we stay? Yes, we would change the name, but we would make it invisible because we don't use it anyway. But if you want to line them up properly, this is okay. Just make it invisible. Invisible, read only just in case, and exportable, no, because we're not going to use it. Company descriptions, and this one we would say clinic name. And this is the official name for the clinic. Okay, now if we don't enter any of the error message here, it will tell us that, oops, sorry, please specify an error message for this mandatory field, because you say, hey, it's mandatory. So when you don't enter anything for this field, it's going to prompt you for this error message. Please enter the official name for the clinic. Okay, so that's done. So that's the clinic name. Now the phone. We can put a mask there, but I won't bother for now. If you want to put a mask, you can put an input mask here. So for the phone, what do we do? Yeah, just a field that they enter. So nothing more we have to do. Phone, fax, active. Active should be a checkbox, and already it knows that it's a checkbox. The question is, do you want it to be yes or no to start with? And let's just say default is yes. Okay. So it's not mandatory. Mandatory means you have to do something about it. So it's trying to be intelligence. So address 1 should be called address line 1. Address 2 should be called address line 2. Country. Let's just make it left justified, and instead of a text box, how about we do something called autocomplete? And we know we have country, so country has country ID, and country has two things: the country name and also the country code. So I think country name is good. So let's just do a save and change the name to country. Because it's self-explanatory, I'm not going to enter any tooltips. So state, left justified, again autocomplete, state, state ID, state, state name. Or you can say a state or province. Then the city. There's something we can do about this province, because in the state, I believe in the state, we have the state, we have the country ID, and because in the company, we also have the country ID, we can actually filter it by the country, so only the state information is going to come up, okay? And on second thought, it's too complicated to have the city to be to have a table to keep track of the city. I would recommend that in our case, we just change the city to just a name that we type in. So allow me that we would go back to the table and column. Let's find a company. There are many ways to solve a problem, so I'm trying to make it simple. So instead of an integer, I changed my mind that this is going to be called city instead of an ID. ID, we're expecting an integer or small integer. Going to change it to nvarchar, say 100. That's big enough. And that city would be just something that we entered. Yeah, I think that would be the easiest thing to do. Okay, so push it. So what this does, again, it goes back to the version tracking, and you see there's 2 lines here now, right? On the company, used to be city ID is an integer, and if I do a refresh, the city is now nvarchar 100. Okay, so it's done for us, and we go to the object IDE. This is already taken care of for us, so we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to do something like that. So city is now just a text box, and make it left justified. And the postal zip code is already left justified, and we just have to change the name. Okay, postal/zip. Well, I think our screen is done. Let's give it a try. Automatically, this screen is put into the menu. Now, the fastest way to develop things like this is to open up another browser, because you can open as many browsers as you want. Remember John Doe? So John Doe, $1. Whoop. What did I do? Oh, sorry, wrong system. L1, sign in. Join. So okay, so we would go to Common App, and you see the clinic system is already there. Let's click that. When we click that, it's actually creating the code, generating the code, and in the system, it has created a whole bunch of store procedures and also a whole bunch of programs. Maybe it's interesting to show you what it has created. Yeah, let's do that. www.root. Okay, this SLN is a solution using the Visual Studio. You can open this up, and you will find that all these programs, ADM, are the Rintagi programs, because it's self-generating, so it's generating the same way. You see this program? That's the one that we have created. Oh, it's only 2 lines. Well, there's more here for this. Yeah, not a whole lot, right? But most of the code is generated actually in the module. So if you go to modules and go down to CMON common. Okay, so these are all the code that has HTML code that has generated for you. How many lines? Line 227. That's not a whole lot either. What about this one? This is the code behind C# code for that program. Oh, hasn't stopped yet. Why don't I fast forward? And it's about 1,886 lines. Okay. I don't want to write those kind of code. I hope you feel the same way. But more than that, because it's N-tier architecture, so these codings are actually calling a lot of programs written in the background for the middle tiers before you reach the database. So in the database, we go to the database and look at the programmability store procedures. You will see that get company, see all this code being generated, get this being generated. I think there's more, so let me just refresh. Okay, that's the one. That's the one. That's the one. Yeah, I thought there's more, but anyway, am I in the right program place? Yeah, L1 common. Okay, so let's try it and see if it works. There's nothing here. Let's just enter the clinic name. So we say West Coast. West Coast Trail. Clinic. Yeah, why don't we just call it West Coast Clinic, okay? Phone number, 604 233 1111, okay? Fax, you don't have to enter. Anything without this asterisk, you don't have to enter it. So essentially, we can just say 1221 Broadway Street, and the city would be say Vancouver, The country is Canada. So anything with a C comes up when I type the C, and I can pick Canada, or you can just do this, and you can click 100 more, and you can scroll down. So it's a pretty useful box. And when that happens, only the postal code, only the state with the states will come up. Now, we can obviously add more state to that to fast pace the testing. Why don't we go and add something in the background for testing purpose? We go to state. Firm state. Yeah, state's right here. Okay. So we know the 38 is British Columbia because we have an example already given, and we can enter. This is called file host mode. So we know we have Ontario, state name, and let's just type in 38 and Ontario's ON, and we will save that. Okay, so when that happened, you can see now we have Ontario. So, but this is really Vancouver, so we'll pick this and V2 V3A3. Okay. Oop, 3A3. I think it works. Oh, good. So we added a clinic. Perfect. We can add one more clinic for the East Coast. But before we do that, I'd like to do one thing to the to utilize the new things that we have added in the past. Okay, so past 2 days, I mean, the audit trail. So notice that there is no additional button here for audit on this screen, and we're going to make that happen. So as soon as we click that and we save, you have the full audit trail. And because it triggers the automatic regeneration, when we click on that, that's how fast it regenerated those 2,000 lines of code in one program and several hundred in others. Have you noticed anything? Oh, yeah, there's an audit thing here now, right? When we click on that, you'll see that nothing happened yet. It's all empty, right? Because we haven't keep track of the audit for the last things that we added. But if we do a copy now and we change this to East Coast, we're adding a new program, right? So say 416 area code, and this is the street. The city is Toronto, and yeah, I think they have a Broadway street there too. Let's just say Bloor, okay? Because I know Bloor Street. I know this is wrong, but I forgot what the postal code is for that. But let's just say Ontario, and see what happens when we save. Whoa. Whoop, something happened. This is not good. Why is that? It's complaining. Audit L1. Looking for the audit table. Screen audit. Screen audit. No, no, not now. It's complaining that the audit at 1M is wrong. It's not supposed to happen. This is we tested this obviously on other things, and it was working. DTLID. So it probably has failed to do. Okay, let's take a look at the program. L1 common. Where is that program? Audit at 1M. Maybe it's in here. Audit at 1M. Hey, Conrad, do you see that program?
I'm looking with you. I don't see at the moment.
Do you remember it's in the is in L1 common or not? Yeah, because I don't see it here. Oh yeah, I thought I refreshed it. Audit at 1M. Okay, so this is the code being generated when we click that checkbox, right? So it's saying that insert into if all parent ID is not null, then but it's saying that this field, this is returning a null. This is returning a null. Let's just take a look at. Cannot insert a null into column. This table.
Perhaps you could try regenerating the screen and trying again.
Yeah, it looks good. I mean, unless when we create a new program, somehow something is not being done properly. Maybe we can fix this. Let's take a look. So, okay, L1 command D. We have the audit, screen audit, DTL, and I suspect no wonder. See, this is supposed to be identity, yes. Somehow when we create this new table, something has turned it into identity no. Now that's terrible because it's not what it's expecting. Why is that? Same thing here. Okay. this supposed to be identity, yes. Now what would happen in here? I believe we have the same problem. Table screen, SCR screen, audit. See, this is yes. Huh. What's going on? This is yes too. So somehow when we created the design table for the L1 common, it has changed that. Yeah, but we tested it on other system. Remember, we were doing this 2 days ago, and we have the SCR audit. Identity, yes. Whoa, this is very interesting. Because it didn't happen there. RO table SCR audit. Identity, no. Okay, okay. Why is that? I think I found the source of the problem. Rintagi somehow had a mistake. So we have to roll another version of Rintagi. Now I bet you that the RO design is correct. SCR audit. Okay. Whoop. Yeah, it's a yes.
So then it's something we changed recently then.
Yeah, exactly. But how did we make that change is mind-boggling. Okay, so I believe we fixed the problem. We still have to test it, obviously. But that definitely was a mistake. Now, why don't we test it first to make sure, yeah, it's working, right? And when we go to this, you see that this row changed by John Doe, the date and time. And we added this particular row, and the details is in the following. So the company, okay, we changed from nothing because we're adding, right, to East Coast. So the clinic name, East Coast Clinic, and see all this information. It's all done. Just one click of a button. And if we change anything, it just changed that particular field. So for example, if I copy this and change it to say 1112, and we add a suite number, suite 202, and we click that save. Oh, come on. Another problem. What was it saying? Saying city. So you remember last night we were having this conversation?
Right.
Yeah, but why would city be not included in the list? Uh, okay, I have to leave this and see if do one more test. Okay, East Coast. Change that to here, and this time I just want to save this. Yeah, still seeing city 6 is not belong to the table. I have to come back for this later. Okay, so we have a problem with this particular generated audit screen. But one thing I like to make sure is on the table and column in the, because it's self-generating, I want to make sure that the audit trail header is identity check yes, and is multi-design DB audit trail check yes to, and is multi-design DB. So somewhere in our I fixed the source problem. When we deployed again, I think we would have fixed that problem. Obviously, we still have another issue with that company screen that I cannot update without the audit trail. So now I can obviously look into that now, but we would encounter something like that from time to time because of this new product. We always have a contingency. The contingency is this: you can go to the clinic information and just click that audit trail, stop it from generating, and as soon as we go back to the clinic and refresh it, it would see how fast it regenerated all codes. It literally wipe out everything to start from scratch, as if you're building a new program. So East Coast, let's do the same change. I want to make sure this work, because the audit information is a nice to have things. You see, it's updated perfectly. Obviously, the clinic stuff is now gone. The auditing is now gone, but at least I can update this anytime I want, right? And I can do suite 202 just to prove my point. Save. Okay. So we have a clinic information screen set up for 2 companies. Okay, so the next things we want to do is the user group before the data modeling. 10:20. Wow, time flies. What do we say when we have a break? Let's take
After data modeling, yeah.
But no, the timing. More concerned about the time. 10:30. 10:30. Wow. Yeah. Let's do the user group. I think we're behind already, but we can make up the time after the break. Yeah, it's already past the break time. So maybe we should break now and come back for the user group later. Yeah, so I will see you guys in 15 minutes. This is 10:28, so it's 10:30. We will start again at 10:45. Thank you for your patience, guys.
You look at the message I sent you, just really quick.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll leave the stream running and we'll just have a notepad or something that tells you guys we're on break, and we'll be back in 15 minutes.
So I won't stop streaming?
No, you shouldn't. No.
Okay. Yeah, I was. Uh, okay, so we'll see each other in 15 minutes. But I'm not going to take a break. I will look into the reason why it's not showing. If you guys want to watch, that's fine. But um, I'm just curious, why it's not giving me that city, the old city things. So I'm just gonna go back to the. Well, if we're not stopping streaming, it put me in a very interesting situation. I'm not breaking anyway, right? Um, Instead of we're already late, we're behind. Instead of using that 15 minutes break time to do something that I don't want to do right now, why don't we just carry on and do the user group until noon, and just break at noontime? What do you think, Conrad?
That sounds okay too, yeah. Wherever's easiest.
Yeah, because I don't feel like I want to break. It's just um, we're already behind. I have to catch up the time. Okay. So let's go to user group. Okay, so we have the app admin. Um, these are all reserved. It tells you that here. Number 1 through 9 are reserved. Okay. So we can create app admin, which has all access is reserved for system administrator. So we choose view all, add, add and delete for all companies, and it will apply to all systems. So we don't have to add anything here to override it. Copy. We can have the clinic admin. Again, is view all, add and delete. So the difference between these two is one will select more companies than others. So I'm going to save this, and you can see that this is now 11. Copy. We have doctors, and now this one is view self, add and delete, because you don't want them to be poking around. So copy and patients. Again, view self, add and delete, because we want them to enter their own registration form. Okay. So now that we have these user groups, we can either set up the users now, or we can set them up later. What do we want to do? We want to set them up later. Let's do, because I want to set up the doctors first. So let's go back to data modeling. Okay. We must have something called projects info, and again Let's double check to see what's inside the database. L1 common. Okay, so project, we probably don't need this too. We still need the company ID to filter out what company can access these projects. And that what that means is the clinic, each doctor would belong to a particular clinic because the company ID stands for the clinic. For this one, we would like to take away this. The image is yeah, I forgot what they were being used for. So, but they're not the basic stuff. So it's okay. Now these fields are basic, so don't remove them. We can add two things that I have in mind. So let's say 66, and one thing is to buy bibliography. How to spell bibliography? Bibliography. Did I spell it right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Take away this bibliography. Okay, so this one we want to end varchar, and if we put in a 0, that means if we hover over this, it tells you that 0 means maximum. Okay, and make it nullable. Let's just save it first. And we want to add one more field, let's say 55, and this one we want to have the ability to import all the certifications image of the doctors. So certificates, cert ID. Okay, cert ID. So we want to make this an integer so that we can use it later. Okay, so nullable. So that's the cert ID. Okay. Yeah, just want to add two things. Oh, no, actually more, because we need to be able to contact the doctor at emergency. So phone numbers becomes really important. So how about we have phone, and this is varchar because it doesn't have to be multilingual. Let's say 20. I think this can be nullable, but mobile phone definitely not nullable. Okay, but that's entirely up to you. The nice thing is you can change this anytime without really testing, because the system will do everything for you. I am going to make this not nullable so that they have to have a mobile phone for you to contact them. Save. Okay. So we have phone, we have mobile, and one is not nullable, one is nullable. Okay, so push. Now that is not right, because I'm not changing. This, it shouldn't be asking me that, because there's no mobile field currently in project. But let's just see what happened. Let's go back to project. Yeah, there's no mobile field here. Refresh. Phone mobile. Yeah, looks right. Okay, let's build the let's build a doctor screen, so we can enter some doctor's information. So far we have one screen, and we can faster ways to do a copy. And you notice that this is now blank. We can change this to project info, and its project description. Is it going to be a tab folder? Sure, why not? Remember to change the name. PROJ is not a view only screen. This is the doctor information. This capture. Okay, save. So a new screen has been created for us. We go to Object IDE, select the, you know why? We forgot to change the name. So which one is project? Oh, this one is project. Okay, so the things I like about Rintagi is it lets you make mistakes, because we are human and we always make mistakes. So when we make mistakes, we want to be able to correct it. Okay, so we have project ID. There's nothing to change here. But we may want to have it on the left-hand side. Yeah, I think that looks better. So for that, we also want to make it on the left-hand side. See, I just corrected a mistake I've made. And it will regenerate itself. I didn't have to test that. So change that to ID and save. Oh, we want to hide this, so it's visible but read only. But this one we want to hide it. Okay, so not visible, read only, not exportable, because we won't have something called, you know, a doctor belong to another doctor. Project description, label. This is the doctor name. Okay. It's mandatory. please enter the full name of the doctor. Okay. So company is the clinic that it belongs to. Resident, how do we say this? Clinic at clinic? Yeah, let's say at clinic. This is the clinic where this doctor practice. Okay, so that's something we need to select from a doctor. I mean a clinic. So we have company ID, company description, now we may want to have it default to something. We'll leave that for now. So we have a bibliography. We should make this a box, and let's make it something multi-line. And the height would be, let's say, 200 or maybe 150. So you can see that is expanded. And for this one, we like to make this a document. D, something start with D, document. So we're saying it's a warning here. This is the display mode, and a storage table will be created in the case of a document. Okay. So we'll say yes, and so you see it automatically created all these things for us. Left. It doesn't matter actually, but this is the height of the columns in pixel, or maximum height for images. Number of rows for documents. So depending on how many rows of documents you would like to see on one page, we can say maybe 2 for now, just so you can see the effect. I'll do a save. Okay, so we need the width as well in pixels. Let's just say we have 400 pixels. Okay. So just left behind the phone. Oh, we need some documentation. Certification list. Okay. Please. Oh no. Yeah. I think we can skip that for now. Right. So how do we want to arrange this so it looks a little bit better instead of all vertical? We can have this on the right for sure, and we can have the this has 12 columns, so we can make more columns if we want to, but the information here is not that much. I feel that we could do without. And let's just see what it's like for now. Because active, just checking to make sure it's checkbox. Okay. Yeah, let's see what it's looking like, and we'll take it from there. So anytime when we go to the screen and refresh by changing the system and coming back, you'll see that well, we captured the first information that we entered. I guess we have to change that. You go to menu IDE, and we can tell this is clinic system, but this is not. This is actually pulling up the project information. What? Did we type in project information? I thought we said doctor information. Oh yeah, sorry, my fault. Doctor information. Yeah, so doctor information here. We can go to menu label. In English, we will call it doctor information. We can manually enter more cultures if we want to, but I'll show you how we can use Google Translator and automatically translate all of them. So we don't have to do that initially. We just have to correct those that we don't like after the Google translation had went through it. Okay, so that's the new look. We will go back to this. Doctor information right here. Okay, you see the bibliography is here. There's no doctors for now. We have created a certification list for import. That's not too bad. I think we can do a little bit better by doing something like this. So go to certification list. Because it's a pretty long label, we could say label on top. Oh, and on top of that, why don't we say this is the 500, okay? And we'll make the height a little bit more. So let's say this is four rows. You can see it expand a little bit better. Yeah, so this is how it would look in this on the screen. Oh, we forgot to make this automatically yes. So let's just do it now. Default systems. So every time yeah, right. Thank you for reminding me. Every time we make a change, it's literally wipe out all the programs and redo everything again. So it's always clean. There is no spaghetti code. There's no patches. It's always very clean code. Let's see what we can do to this, okay? So doctor, Dr. Stephen, yep, at clinic, East Coast, bibliography. Let's find something. Doctor, bibliography. Let's see if we can find something. No? Okay. I'm just picking anything in random. Okay. Expert in the field of mind synopsis. Yeah, let's do that. Control S. Oop, wrong place. If this is not big enough, you can do this, and then we can enter. It will put it back in here, right? Okay. So phone number 604. Well, it's East Coast, so it's 416 111 2222. We can still make the mobile mandatory if we want to on the screen, even though the backend is not expecting any mobile system. So why don't we try that? It would be fun. So let me just add one doctors for first, okay? And let's just make the mobile now mandatory and see what happens.
So this is a question I'm sure our viewers will have. Is it more preferable to set it mandatory on the screen itself in the object IDE or in the backend?
Well, the answer I want to give you is always good to have contingency. Consider the backend as a contingency. You can do everything on the front to make sure you're doing the right thing. But just in case the front end failed, you still have the back end to protect you on that, and that's called insurance. I highly recommend building the system in insurance. As you know, we're very good at building mission critical systems. It's because of this kind of contingency. If something fails, it's like the audit trail just now. We thought about, well, what if the audit trail has a problem? Well, then don't use it, right? Uncheck it, and you can still going without stopping you from doing the right thing. So I highly recommend doing both. But for now, I just want to demonstrate that it can be done this way too. Now, if I try to save this now, it will give me an error and saying that no, you have to tell me what to do. So please enter mobile phone number. This is doctor's mobile phone number. Oh, you can see there's a watermark here too. We haven't demonstrated that. Not here. I mean, why would you want a bibliography? I mean, anything here. Maybe in bibliography. Yeah, let's try that. What would happen if we use the watermark in here? Watermark. Enter anything significant about this doctor. Yeah, see what happened. Whoop, what happened? I thought I... back here, if we click the doctor information again, yeah, so it comes up with anything you want to say here in the watermark. And when you type, you override it, right? Okay, so go back to Stephen Yap. You see, this is now have a star asterisk next to it. So I have to enter the doctor's phone number now. Okay, so do that and save. Okay. The certification list, we can go and grab a certification from the website. Anything? So how about we say doctors certification. Okay. Management certifications. I just want to grab an image of a certification. So maybe I can try image. Hey, look at that, beautiful. So I can click on any of this, right? And just do a Photoshop. And files save as picture. Let's say this is, yeah, just call it capture. What the heck? No. We have to do something, say something about this. Give it a name. MD cert, okay. Certification. And let's get one more. Assuming that this is something else, just want to demonstrate how it works. File save as. Okay, so this let's assume that this is the additional certification. So ophthalmologist. So OP certification. Save. Okay. Good. So go back to this. Now, if we click this, it will ask us to browse. So you can browse the pictures, and MD, it's right there, and upload. So it tells you who uploaded this, when, and the time you upload this. You can upload as many as you want. There's no restriction. So now you have two of them, and if you click that, you ask you whether you want to open it, and you can see the documentations. Very nice. Okay. And if you have more than 4, it will give you pages. So to demonstrate that, I can upload it again. It can, so it keeps versions. So you can see that this is a different versions, right? Even though it's the same program, it doesn't ask you that. So we go to include that again. So you can keep multiple versions of the same document with the same name. you see this number 2 comes up. So now you can go to number 2. You can delete and ask you whether you want to or not. You can delete all the extras, right? So only keep the one that is useful. Okay, so basically we have the doctor screens set up, and let's just copy this, and Dr. Mickey Holland. Okay, this is West Coast, say the West Coast Clinic, and to make it simple, I'll just cut out something here and assume that this is what it should be. Change it to 604. It is mandatory, so I should change it to that and save. And you notice that the certification list is now empty because it knows that those certificates belongs to Stephen, not Mickey. Okay, and then we can install our own certificate for them, for him later. And if we go back to the clinic information, you will notice that the ID was on the right and now it's on the left, right? Okay, so now we have the doctor. We have 2 doctors. We need more doctors. So let's just do one more doctor for the West Coast. Copy. And let's just have nothing here for now. We want this doctor to be in the West Coast Clinic, and we say this is Dr. Watson, Dr. Bill Watson. Okay. Same phone number, whatever. Save. So we have 2 doctors that belongs to the West Coast Clinic for the permission management testing later on. So we always prepare the testing cases for the future. Right. With the doctor information now ready, I think we can set up the users. So user manager. Okay, we only have 2 users for now, but let's just copy John Doe, okay, ourselves, and we will make this John. Well, we'll have a clinic administrator. So no, app administrator first. App administrator. So the app administrator will also have the ability to do user administrations and also report administrations. This one will let him do the users manipulation, like adding users and stuff like that. That one will give him the ability to look at the audit, because the audit information is only available for sys administrator and RPT administrator. Okay. So now he has 3 roles, and this is test test app administrator. Why don't I call him test app 1? Is that too difficult to say? Test app 1, yes, sure, why not? Test app 1, test app 1. So the login name will be test app 1 for this, and the default system will go into log into common directly. The password durations would be okay. So he's not internal users, not the technical users. We'll deal with that picture later. Okay, so companies. We have two companies. The app administrator, if you do not select any of this, that means he has covered all companies and obviously all projects. So if we do a copy, remember, don't save before you make sure that this is empty. So now if we save, we're adding. If we save just now, we're actually overwriting the John Doe record. Okay, so we have a test app 1 user setup. Let's just make more. So I'll do a copy. Now I want to change this to the clinic admin. So I'll say test clinic 1, test clinic 1.
Can you explain what a difference between like what is an internal user and a technical user? Like what do those checkboxes do?
Oh, it gives you additional message, and it gives you some server-side printers available. This a lot more functionality. Technical users, there's some details, more details, error information will give you if there's some errors that comes up. It's designed for technical users. Usually system administrators will have that. Okay, so the app admins, clinic admin, so that we want to make sure that clinic admin cannot set up users. Well, actually, no. Let's because admin, let him have all this as well. So, but the difference is, we want this guy to have the West Coast clinic only, and every project that associate with that particular company. Okay, that particular clinic. So let's save it, and one more thing, because we have assigned it to West Coast Clinic, so obviously we want this to be the default, would be the West Coast Clinic. Okay. So this administrator would be only responsible for the West Coast Clinic. There you go. So copy. I'm going to do 2. Now, he still belongs to those user groups, but instead of that, we will make him go to the East Coast clinic group, and we just swap this. Okay, so save. And we need to have doctors, so copy. Doctor. Now, doctor doesn't need to do any of those. And this doctors, so we need one doctor. So test doctor 2. Doctor 2. We'll do the test doctor 1 later. So test doctor 2. We will have the East Coast clinic, and he's a doctor. So we don't care which company. Well, we do East Coast, because we know that the doctor, but we only want him to see that particular doctor. Now I forgot which doctor it is for the East Coast clinic, so I have to come back to it later. Why don't I save this first? So doctor 2. If we go to the project here, the East Coast, yeah, I don't like this. This is not showing me which clinic I'm from. I should do something on that quickly, because it would be really helpful if I can sort them by clinic. There are many ways to do this, but the quick and dirty way is to use this SQL things. This simple SQL will replace the above search, but only master table columns can be accessed. So I have to find out what we want to capture on the company ID. Okay, so company ID maybe. So this is SQL now, right? So we say bracket plus convert varchar 10 comma company ID plus bracket plus okay, we want a space after that, and we want the project description, project DSC. Let's see if this will do better. Okay, so this is the doctor information. Let's go back to doctor information. Again, it wipe out everything and redo it, and hopefully it will give me yes. It will. So at least now I know this one, Stephen Yap, is actually the East Coast, and the other two are West Coast, right? So when we go back to the doctor information, where am I? I was doing the user. Okay, so test doctor 2 is the East Coast, so we can choose the Stephen. Yep. So he can only see his own patient's information and his own doctor information. Default project is Dr. Stephen Yap. So when he log in, he will see this displaying up here. Okay. Copy. We need another test doctor, Doctor 1. Doctor 1. And again, he's a doctor, but this time let's make him a West Coast clinic, and let's say Bill Watson, and we'll go to Bill Watson, and that's it. Okay. Oh, made a mistake. East Coast, West Coast. Okay. Yeah, done. So test doctor will be a West Coast doctor. We need patients too. So this is the last one that we built. Would be the test patients. Test patients. Test patient 1. And he will be a patient, not a doctor. Now he can belongs to several doctors at the same time. So this is the we would not default to any doctor. And but in the West Coast, he could belong to these 2 doctors. So we'll save that. And we'll change the password for all of these users to the same password. So test app 1 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6 or is it better to use something else? I think we should use test without the space, app 1 test app 1, and new password on login, no. So save. Clinic. Okay, so test clinic 1, test clinic 1, save it. Okay, so test clinic 2, test clinic 2, test clinic 2, test doctor 1, test doctor 1, test doctor 2, test doctor 2. I'm typing as fast as I can. You'll notice that a lot of the time that we spend is actually on testing or setting up test data. Test patient 1, which is a good thing. Unlike coding, type something wrong. We would have they would have spent a lot more time in debugging. Okay, test patients 1 done. So we have set up all the users for ready for testing. Looking at the time is 11:21. Let's see where we at. So we've done this. We actually jump ahead and do the doctor administration screen. No, but that was before the lunch break. And we're way behind. We still need to do the data modeling, and we still need to do the registration screen. So we should get back to the I lost my cursor. Yeah, back. Okay. In Common App, we have something called customer. I made a mistake. Bad mistake, big mistake. For patient, it should not have access to any of the you can have multiple projects, but we have to find out who the customer is and assign it here so that he can only see that customer stuff. Yeah, so that's the thing I missed just now. So, but we're not there yet. We need to build the customer screen first with the customer data. Well, of course, we haven't got a patient yet. We have to have the patient registration screen done first. Okay, so let's build it. This is the patient screen, patient data. Again, we don't need the firm ID. We will we're planning to use the full audit to capture who has changed what, and even changing address will be captured, so it will be stored in the database for later retrieval to look back into the historical records. So we don't need that. It doesn't have a parent company, so customers sometimes refers to a company and they have parents company, but we don't have those two. So all we need is customer name and that. So let's just remove those two. Okay. And so assuming that name is the patient's name, there's two ways we can do that. We can have a full name, assuming that or we can have the first name and last name, and then we build the name based on the full name. Yeah, why don't we do that? I like that. So 41, we'll have the first name. Don't put any space in between the names. SQL doesn't like that. We'll have nvarchar. 100. We cannot take away this name, like customer ID, customer name, and active. Those three are important stuff. Those are the basic fields. So we shouldn't, but we can change that to 200 to make it big enough to when we add the first name and the last name together with a space. So that's what we intend to do, and we should make this. Can we make this non-mandatory? Yeah, because I want to build that up from the first name and the last name. Let's just see if that would that can be done. What's the worst case, right? So first name, last name, and last name and varchar, assuming that is multilingual. So 100. Pretty long for name. I would say, why don't we use 50 characters, just so we don't have to worry about when we add them up is over 200. Okay, so 50 characters, and we will add 43. First name, last name, birthday. So birthday would be a daytime, a date. Okay. Yeah, let's make it. Well, no. Don't make it nullable. If without the birthday, we can hardly recognize this person. So save. Birthday. So 55. And let's make it 51 so we can build a few more before we don't want it to go over 60, right? Want to keep that in the end. So we have birthday, and we have care card number. How about the gender first? Gender. Now this one we want it to be 1 characters. So gender is either M or F. And well, it's either M or F, so must be not nullable. Add 52 and let's just make this the care card number. Well, I want a care card number to come up first. So to help me organize these things, maybe I should put it, yeah, this is fine. Just care card number, care card. And this is a number, so varchar is good enough. And I don't know how big it should be, but let's make it 20, so it will cover all countries. Now, they may not have a care card number. They may be paying cash. 53, address 1, and varchar 100. Four, address 2, and varchar 100. 55, country. Let's see what we have done for the company. Refresh. Okay, we have the country ID small in, state ID. Small in. '56 state ID, small in. '57 city. And varchar 100. Home number. Oh, in the postal code. Yeah. Postal. And this one is varchar. Or is it M varchar? Yeah, M varchar 20. Trying to make everything consistent. Okay, and then 59. The phone number, home phone. What was the phone? We know, right? Because the other one is mobile. Okay, so this one is varchar 20. Save. So automatically number it for you, and so we can start with 141. 141 mobile. Varchar. And varchar 20. Okay. And now email 142. Email. Varchar. Let's make it 200 just in case. Okay. 143. WCB claim. Now we want to have two things. If the WCB claim is yes, we want to capture the claim number. So we want to say is WCB claim, how about code, WCB claim code, and the other one is WCB claim number. Yeah, let's do that. This will be a char 1. It's just yes or no. Okay. At 144. WCB claim. No. WCB claim number, and that would be a let's assume that this is n-bar char, and the number couldn't be more than 20 characters. Okay, it's nullable. So this is yes or no, so it's not nullable, but that is nullable, right? Okay, 145 WCB, sorry, refer doctor, REF doctor, and let's make it easy for now. It's just n-bar char 100, 146 family doctor, n-bar char. You can always tap to, you don't have to use the mouse. Okay. Okay, so we'll do a couple more and we'll stop, because I think you just want to get an idea how to use these things.
Sounds good.
We can add more fields anytime later. So we will ask one more allergy. Allergy. That's very right. Allergy. Yeah. So char 1. Again, this is yes or no, so we would leave it like that. And 148, if your allergy list, okay. And this is n-bar char. Let's make it a little bit bigger in case they have a lot to enter. Okay. So let's stop here. You notice that when there's more than 15 rows, it jumped to second page. It automatically create one of 2. So if you go to 2, you'll notice that it's on the second page. This is quite useful because you can search for, say, WCB, and all the WC view comes up. So anything down below you can search on, and you can particularly select any of the field up here to search on for this particular field. So all the functionality are there. And if you have an Excel spreadsheet, you can actually use this to import the list from the Excel spreadsheet into here. Okay. Okay, so for now, let's just do this and just push it there. Ooh, invalid column name allergy. It's assuming that this is the, I think I understand why. It's assuming that we have data inside the system. So I have to have a default value in case something goes wrong. For now, I think I'm going to check them all to not nullable, and we'll do the stuff on the front end. So customer ID, save. We may have other problems because I was deleting 2 columns that I wasn't sure if I should be doing that. Char and raw char 2000. Okay, so hopefully this works. Okay. Go back here. We should find that. Refresh. Actually, turning them all nullable has an advantage. Because when we set up a new patient, we can set up a blank patient. So nobody can pretend to be a patient and then just enter something, right? So we have to, the process is we would get the clinic administrator to add a user called patients1 or something, and then have a customers which is patients set up with nothing, and then give it the iPad, give the iPad to the patient, so the patients can enter all the rest of the information himself. That's the idea I have right now to safeguard the. It's not like a website you can sign up and anyone can sign up to be a patient, that kind of stuff. So the administrators still have some kind of control. So yes, setting them all to nullable is actually a good thing. Okay. Go to the screen definition. It's 11:42. What are we doing with time? We're supposed to be doing the patient registration screen. Before lunch break. Yeah, let's see if we can finish that. Okay, so far we have 2. Let's just pick this one and do a copy. Wipe this out. This capture the patient's information. Okay, well, I'm confident that this should work, so let's just try that. Keep forgetting. And because of that, I need to go to the patient's information, right? So menu label. Again, we hide it, and for the customer name, we can hide it because we can set up some kind of a server rule to update that later. And so we can, because it's notable, we can even delete that. So why don't I delete that and just have the first name and the last name? First name, last name, birthday. Birthday is a date, and yeah, so we'll display it as a date, but we can make it better by displaying a long date. Why not? Okay. So gender. The fastest way to do that is the checkbox. Otherwise, we can create a table, yes or no, and then we can select from there yes or no. Or M or F. Gender has to be M or F, so we need a table for sure. Yeah, let's do a table then. What do we do? We don't have a gender table, so let's go back to this and create a gender table. Database, gender, to distinguish this from other tables, we just call it the code table gender. So CMN dash gender type. Okay, so gender code. Is a char one. It's not identity. We don't want it to, but it's a primary key for sure. And we want to add gender description, and this is let's just do an enval char, say 20. It shouldn't be nullable because we're setting up this table ourselves, and if we do that, and we're asking us to synchronize it to the database. So we will push that to the database. Now this table currently doesn't have any contents, so I would highly recommend that we do the following. Gender, CT gender. Okay, so we can do an insert into dbo.ct gender if there's no identity, we can just simply say select, or we have to specify the columns. We'll say, what do we want to say? M for male, MALE, and yeah, something like that. But we want to make sure that we won't insert it if it's already there. So if not exists, select one from dbo.ct gender where gender, it's not recognizing it, where gender code is equal to M, then insert into there. Now we need two of this. We need one for that and the other one for female, male, female. So female. And if we want to run this two here, that's fine. But if we want to run this as a script, we need to do something like that. Okay. And I'll explain why we need that later. And all this single quote need to becomes double single quote. So two of them, and like that, and then close it. Okay, so let's try it. If we execute this, hey, it works. If we execute it again, nothing happened, right? Cut it out. If we edit, you'll see that this table is now established, right? So what we need that for is for the deployment. So I'm thinking ahead of time that we're going to deploy this, right? So this is the gender script for deploying, and we can add this. Well, this is the extra. We can add this to the end and say, hey, if it exists, do that. If not, don't worry about it. So the deployment will always keep this table correct. I just saved it. And when we go back to the object IDE, gender now can be anything you want. It can be a radio button. Let's try a radio button. So mandatory radio button. Radio out, radio button, and let's make it male to start with, because it's mandatory. We want to make sure something is being entered. So we'll have to select from the CT gender code, CT gender description, and let's save it. Okay, So care card is just care card number. Care card number. This is your care card number. Okay, so address 1, address 2, we done that before. We can put it on the right hand side, build 2 columns out of this, or we can use 3 columns. It's entirely up to us. We haven't tried 3 columns. Why don't we try 3 columns now and see what happens? Oh, but we haven't tried the new tab either, so we should do that, because we can put stuff from here into another tab. We can do that one by one. However, let's just change some of the obvious things first. Checkbox. Right. Yeah, we can move some of this field to another tab later on. So maybe we don't want to do like 3 rows. That's another design altogether, right? So let's play with this. I will move this out to here, and you can see that now the address is longer than that, which is all right. And sometimes the address can be long too. So address line 1. Line 2, and we have we're 4 minutes to noon, so we should stop in 4 minutes, and then we'll pick it up in an hour. Now I will stop streaming because the files will get too big. I think, and it deserves.
Yeah, no, that's fine. We'll schedule a lunch break at 12, and I can just set it on the stream that we'll be back in an hour.
Yes, please do that. Okay, so let's do the country. And the country will be preceded by city. And then we have the country will be a autocomplete. Country code, no, country ID, sorry. Country name, left, state. Okay, we'll remember that the state is also an autocomplete. Left justifies, and it's the state ID, state name. Okay, but we want to filter it. State. Come on, spell. Country ID. Country ID from company. Is it? No, from customer. Because we want to filter from here. Save. change the name, state/prof. And then the postal code. Now I'm curious to see if this will fail when we try that audit things. So allow me to be playful and find out what's going on. Patient's information. Yeah, we have that comes up. Nothing. Does that mean it's working? Oh no, we have to add something, right? Yeah, we have to add something. So what happened if I save? We added something, but you see it's a blank row because we haven't we indicated that the name would be using in here, but we haven't really set that up how to report that name. So that's why it's like that. However, I'm curious to see if there's a there is a row. So yeah, the audit is working here. You see all this gender is being defaulted, and these are being defaulted there. So it's working the way I want it to be. We can definitely come back and carry on later on. I'll demonstrate how to put this information into another tab and also formulate the search description to be whatever you want. Okay. Thank you for watching, and look forward to talking to you in an hour. Bye for now.